Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 4, Episode 2 of the Maritime Witch. So far, we're on board. Second episode of the year. So,
look at us go.
I know, right? We're staying the course. So, this episode, we are going to talk a little bit about what's coming up and Valentine's Day, what that means for you witches out there.
Now there, it's one fine flying female.
Okay, so let's dive right in. So coming up, don't forget the new moon on the 17th. This is a good time to plant the seeds of intention and manifestation. It's a good time for cleansing and cleaning, doing some smudging, doing some meditation. And it is also the annular solar eclipse. So that's also a good time to set intentions as well. So that, like I said, that's coming up. I do believe that is a Tuesday on the 17th. What else is coming up? So we're going to kind of skip around here a little bit. March 28th, there is a spiritual expo at the Kingston Lions Club in Kingston, Nova Scotia from 10 till 3. We'll update and give you some more information on that as we get closer to the time, as well as there is the Healing and Holistic Fair on April 11th and 12th at the Best Western in Bridgewater. And again, more details as we get closer to those events. Sean, Mercury retrograde, February 26th.
Again?
Well, not again. This is the first one of the year. I just wanted you to be prepared. So we're going to wrap you in bubble wrap. And, just to remind everybody that as this approaches and as we go into Mercury retrograde, there's going to be some communication breakdowns, tech glitches, travel delays. Don't make any big decisions. You're probably going to find that you're going to have more arguments. We usually do.
It's rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. I say it's duck season, and I say fire.
February 13th, Friday the 13th. And so that's a good day for practicing some self-love and do some protection magic. And then that leads into Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day in witchcraft is a good time to do some heart-centered magic, focus on self-love and connections. There's a big debate in the world of witchcraft as to whether you should do love spells or not, just because of the basis in your personal and ethical decisions, and that some people feel that it interferes with the intended's free will. So that you're, if you're pointing to somebody saying, oh, I want this person to love me, and they don't, you're not in a relationship with them, that those love spells could then interfere, like I said, with their free will. So really what love spells should be about, what some people say should be about, is just about enhancing existing love and relationships and connections rather than targeting and manipulating specific individuals. Now, there are some websites out there. I did come across one that said it's a big love spell site and that you can get your ex back in one day. Results are guaranteed. I'm sure that they're charging for that. And they say that the results may vary. And then at the bottom, there's a disclaimer that said it's not 100% guaranteed. It's funny because it said, get your ex back in one day. If I have cut you loose, I do not want you back.
And why would you want your ex back? That's just...
Yeah, I don't... Well, I guess, for the stalkers out there, then... Maybe. I don't know. But, you don't need to pay somebody to do that. I think you can do that on your own.
You think I'm gorgeous. You want to kiss me. You want to hug me. You want to smooch me. You want to...
I personally think that you just need to trust the universe when it comes to love. I think that relationships... I think the universe puts in your pathway who you need when you need them. And I think that the universe is pretty smart and definitely has the soulmate thing or the connection thing really nailed down.
Yeah, if there's a restraining order, it's not meant to be.
Exactly. So speaking of Valentine's Day, I've kind of been racking my brain trying to think of some witchy couples. Of course, the first one that comes to mind is Samantha and Darren Stevens from Bewitched, Willow and Tara from Buffy, Gomez and Morticia from the Addams Family, Veronica Lake and Frederick March from I Married a Witch. That's digging back a few years. Linda and Sean.
Aww. Linda and Sean who?
Wanda Maximoff and Vision, the Scarlet Witch from Marvel Universe.
Yep.
And Gavin and Yvonne Frost, well known in the world of real witchcraft. These are not fictional characters. They were the co-founders of the Church and School of Wicca in 1968. And actually, they're the ones we talked about that before, that when I was a kid in the comic books, you could always get these advertisements in the back of the comic book. And there was always one for this book on witchcraft, and I wanted it. And they were the actual writers of that book. So, yeah. Can you think of any more witchy couples?
Casper and Wendy.
Sit for a spell and watch Hilary Duff star in her first movie ever. Witches, a ghost! I didn't know witches were so cute. Watch Disney Channel's premiere of Casper Meets Wendy starring Hilary Duff Friday at 8/7 Central. Then come back on Valentine's Day for more Hilary during the I Love Lizzie Marathon starting at 12/11 Central on Disney Channel.
Oh, yeah.
I heard they broke up. He was ghosting her.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. That was pretty good, though. I have to say that was pretty good. Yeah, I can't think of any other witchy couples. See, witchcraft, when you're talking, and I know that we've covered this in other podcasts as well, in other episodes, when you're talking witchcraft in TV and movies, it's not usually the lovey-dovey stories that you're getting when you're talking witchcraft. So
No, because usually, like, if you got Mary Poppins or something, she doesn't have a significant other.
True.
And then you got, what was that other movie that was like Mary Poppins?
Nanny McPhee.
Nanny McPhee, that's it.
I love that movie. I love that series.
And that wasn't really about her, that was about her helping. Like Mary Poppins, it was about, her helping the people in their lives.
Yeah.
So, no love interest.
No. And then there are, we kind of talked about this just before we hopped on here to do the podcast about, what's a good thing to watch for Valentine's Day. So let's see if we can come up with some stuff. We didn't research this off the top of our heads. So like the Twilight series, it's not witchy, but it's like in that kind of realm, that fantasy realm.
You're impossibly fast and strong. You gotta give me some answers.
I'd rather hear your theories.
I have considered radioactive spiders and kryptonite.
It's all superhero stuff, right? What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy?
They're enchanting, breathtaking, bewitching sisters.
Magic isn't just spells and potions.
Now it will take all their power to make love come alive. Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman.
Do you ever put your arms out and spin and spin and spin? Well, that's what love is like.
Practical magic.
Practical magic, yeah.
And other witches that fell in love. Bewitched. I mean, you could watch like the Bewitched series and the Bewitched movie as well with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some kind of like modern day shows that are on right now that probably,
Yeah, I haven't watched. I know I have the books I have the book and I haven't watched the series yet just because we didn't have the streaming service at the time, the Discovery of Witches. I do believe that maybe there's like a love base in there. What else do we have? Good Witch. The Good Witch is kind of a romantic series. We won't discuss this much with Sean because he's not a fan. So.
well, I'm a fan of it
to a certain point.
To a certain point until they killed off a character. I'm sorry, spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Don't listen to that part.
When you kill off one of the main characters, it just, that's in that love thing. Well, then that kind of just ruins it, I guess. But for me, anyway.
So getting back to the new moon as well, something else that we haven't covered yet in the series of podcast episodes that we've done is during a new moon, it's also a good time to do shadow work. We usually start this just before the new moon phase, and a lot of people hear the word shadow work and they think, oh, it's black magic, it's dark magic, it's bad. It isn't. This is about confronting the dark side of yourself. It's about working on yourself. It's about the hidden emotions that kind of like our ugly side.
You found me beautiful once.
Honey, you got real ugly.
So, like your jealousy, your anger, past traumas, envy, any dark emotions, grief, those sort of things. And what people need to remember is that without the darkness, there can be no light. And it's okay to have that dark side. And it's about having some increased self-awareness. And it's not about overcoming these things. It's just about acceptance. And a good way to do this is through journaling, getting out and walking in nature, releasing those emotions, recognizing patterns that could be your triggers to take you to these feelings, letting go of grudges. That's a tough one for me. I do know that I may have been known to hold a grudge or two.
No.
I know, right? I know that's hard to believe.
No.
Yeah, the little grudge demons.
That's why I check the bed every night before I get in it.
The one thing I will tell you about shadow work, if you are going to do it, it's healthy. Just don't unpack your bags and stay there. Don't dwell on anything that is going to be a trigger for you, or, don't dwell on the trauma. Don't sit in it for too long. Just work your way through it,
It's like tub water. You don't want to sit there for too long and sit in your own dirt.
And the other thing, shadow work, if you're sitting there, in some low light and you want to make some shadow puppets, and I know it's not the shadow work. I was waiting for you to kind of say that, but you didn't. So.
Have them talking to each other. As long as nobody catches you doing it, you're good.
I think that this is pretty much short episode. All I really have for this one until we loop back in hopefully the month of March. So we hope everybody has a happy Valentine's Day, whatever that looks like for you, whether you're in a relationship or not. If you're not in a relationship, practice some self-love, treat yourself, be kind. And for those of you in a relationship, we hope that you have a lovely day together. And in the meantime, until we loop back with you in March, may the universe find you safe, happy, and healthy. Blessed be.